Welcome to the Creator Podcast. Thank you so much for listening today. Man, I just want to jump right into today's story because I am blown away with the feedback that I've gotten. You see, once again, I believe that all of us live in a reality where the things that we're seeing, the things that we're experiencing is a reflection inward. If we look inward deep enough, we'll find something that has some meaning. And today I was just doing some reflection. I came across someone posted something on social media, and it really had a strong effect with me. This person posted about how they were doing things for the world as opposed to doing it for themselves, and it really got me interested. As I dug deep, I thought, man, this is an interesting subject to really become more aware of and dig deep into my life. So I did some reflection, and this is what I've kind of found, and it hurts. It's hard facing yourself in the mirror. It's also very rewarding in learning who the person you can become. But nonetheless, sometimes reality hits you so freaking square in the face that you're going, why didn't I see that? Why didn't anyone tell me? And that's why I think it's really important to remind yourself every day that your world and the things around you are happening not to you, but because of you. And so I'll dive in. We're going to go on a journey here for a bit. We're going to go back the last 7 years when my wife and we jumped into real estate. We didn't know what we were doing. I came home from work one day, and she's pregnant, something. I can't remember all the stories, but she was very, very emotional and was stressed out. She told me, I can't do this anymore. I can't do real estate and be a mom. And there's just all these things that she was stressed out about. And I remember that going, okay, cool. So the next day at work, I quit my job. I was trending to have one of my best years ever in that job, in one of the best sales territories. Like, I wasn't in the best sales territory, but I was slowly becoming one of the best because I was working hard. And I remember just quitting. And we took that jump. And at first it was all about the money, right? Holy crap, we got to make money. And I stressed out a bit. And then I had a mentor tell me, just focus on serving other people and the money will come. So that's what we did. And I remember this. Every client we had in the beginning, man, we were just like right there, high level, like white glove service, giving everything we had to these clients because of a few things. Maybe insecurity, right? Like, oh, are they going to like us? Oh, are we actually capable of doing what we're actually doing here? Like, oh my gosh, I just need this money, so I will literally do anything right now. Anything. Like, I think that there was some insecurities and some fear behind that, some scarcity, right? And then, as things got better, we are serving and doing things that most people wouldn't do. I mean, one point we gave up $9,000 to a client that was in foreclosure. We just gave it to him. We just said, listen, we're going to just sell your house for free in essence, just so that you can avoid this. And we were doing amazing things. Like, we lost ourselves in the service of our clients in the beginning. Fast forward, we start getting some money. And what we start doing is giving this money to people, right? We're continuing to serve instead of so much time. Like, I'm no longer sitting on a ladder painting a shed. I'm giving the money. Like, I'm donating some money so that those without the resources can get it done in order to sell their house. And so I'm giving this way. And then we started giving in a new way. We started doing client appreciation events where we started giving back to our clients. My wife and I, we feel like giving back is such a huge thing. And so we started giving back. But slowly throughout the process, what we found was it started to not be about the client anymore, but about us. You know, that pride. We get invited to be on the news. We buy a fancy McLaren. We start doing these things, going on these trips that no one is, most people don't ever get to experience in their life. And we're doing it like a little bit more frequently. Like we'd go on a cruise, and there's some other things psychologically that I was dealing with at that time, but there were things that we were doing that most people only get to experience once or twice in their lifetime. And then we started getting even more focused on ourselves. Now, I'm not bringing my wife into this. This is more for me. So I'll say it was more focused on me. But after talking to her this morning, she agreed to some of these points that, I'm discussing with you today. And we lost ourselves. We were no longer serving. The service was because of our own fame, our own recognition. And then the little details, the things that I was doing every single day for clients, I stopped doing them. I just hired it out, right? And I figured, we can just throw a massive client appreciation event. And they kept getting bigger and bigger and bigger and more money, which was really great for the client experience, but it was to pat my own ego. I'm checking myself on this podcast. It's the truth. Like, it was all my own ego at this point. I didn't care about anyone else. It was about how big could we go? How much more of a name could I make for myself? In fact, so much that I started, for those that know me already, I started a family vlog. And the vlog had nothing to do with anything other than I'm going to be famous on YouTube. And that was my idea. And I started doing even more. I'd post about more businesses I'd open. And everything was just kind of becoming like this natural progression of I'm going to celebrity status. In my mind, that's what I thought, and that was real. But the service aspect of things went away. So now, here I sit, a couple years later, at the verge of closing some of the businesses I've opened. Some of the partners I had, I'm considering leaving, not working with anymore. And that's where I sit. Financially, probably the worst I've ever been in my life. It's funny to laugh about. But what's so funny is I'm at the most peace of my life right now, too. You would have asked me 2 years ago, I would have been a stress case. I would have never been able to do this. But financially, I'm in one of the most unique situations. I'm leveraged in debt, and I have big decisions to face. That's the truth. But the interesting thing is looking back at all of this, I lost my identity because I was focused on me. I wasn't focused on anyone else. And the reason why I built so much success, my wife and I built so much success, is because we were focused on so many other people at that time. We allowed our own ego to cloud us. It's the truth. It's not fun. And so now here we sit. You have this knowledge. I'm more aware of this, right? And I'm going back to the basics. How I'm fixing it is I'm going back to the real intention of why I'm doing what I'm doing. I'm going back to the why this podcast. I'm going back to the how can I help people more in their life? And why is that so important to me? And you see, the reason why helping other people is so important to me is because that is who I am inside. I've served everyone since I was a little kid, since my parents separated. Since the day of my 12th birthday, my dad gets pulled out of our house in handcuffs, and that's the last time I see my parents in the same house together, living in the same home together. It's the last time. And at that moment, my whole life changed. It was 12 years old, here's your younger brother, here's your younger sister. Mom now has to work 60-hour work weeks. Jesse, what are you going to do? And that's what it was. And so I lost myself in serving other people. So naturally, that is who I want to be. But there was a moment there where I lost my identity because I was so clouded by everything else around me. The fancy cars, the insane amount of money flooding the bank account, the accolades, being on the news, being recognized, listed as the top 10 agent in the state of Utah, all of these amazing things. And I'm over here with my big old head just going, man, look at me. I'm so cool. When realistically, the reason how my wife and I built this empire at that moment was not because of ourselves, but because other people we served built it for us. And we were given a lot of trust from God. We were given a lot of trust from people around us to use this money in the good because people believed us and were paying us their hard-earned money, their equity in their homes to go continue to spread good. And so here I sit now reflecting, going, all right, what am I going to do better? And I've turned around and looked at it in the mirror and said, you know what? I've got to have my intentions aligned again. Doesn't matter if I have $1 to my name or $1 billion to my name. It doesn't matter. I have to have my intentions aligned. And if I have $1 billion, how am I going to serve more people? How am I going to help more people? Who am I going to feed? Who am I going to put in homes? What are the things I need to do to help more people? Because the people that have helped me so much are putting their money and their trust in me to continue to do what I need to do, which is help and serve. And I take that very, very personally and humbly. And so this episode here is literally just for me to say I'm sorry, to repent, in essence, of the terrible mistakes I made of getting caught up in myself. Getting caught up in the accolades and the fame and I can do anything because I can do anything. I didn't do anything illegal. But in my heart, I felt like I did it all for the wrong reasons. And now as I sit here, I'm starting to recognize, well, crap. The reason why I'm experiencing what I'm experiencing is because I lost that sense of giving. You see, that's what this life is about. It's about giving to other people. And the more you give, the more you receive. But when you start clouding your mind with, look at me, look how great I am, I've arrived, and you shadow everything else. Everything else is shadowed by your ego. That's when things really start to crumble for you. And I know that because I'm doing it right now. I'm experiencing it right now in my life. Bad business partners. I'm experiencing someone I had to literally be a whistleblower and put in jail for being shady. But that's what I was attracting because I was so focused on me. And because I was so focused on me, all the wrong people started coming into my life. And not everyone, right? There was still some amazing people, but the wrong people. There were wrong people that came in and started taking from me. But it's because I was attracting that with my loud mouth, my loud actions, instead of being the quiet individual that just continued to serve and serve at the mass capacity. I can tell you exactly where all this came from. Growing up watching MTV, all these gangsters flashing money. Lamborghinis, the suicide doors, and the check me out. Watching my favorite basketball player at the time, Allen Iverson, look and deck himself out like he had it all. And in my mind, that's what I pictured as success. But as I've grown up, and as I looked at the things around me, I started to notice that success is nothing compared to the individual you can be if you just help. Having that conversation. Helping someone else. So with this episode, I just, first of all, want to apologize for my terrible actions. My unconscious actions, the things I didn't even know were real until I actually brought awareness and pondered it today even deeper. I knew there was an issue and I'd been working on things, but I didn't know it was this. And so I apologize for those that were with me along the way, that experienced that. That's not the Jesse I'm trying to become. That's not like the great creator that I want to be. I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. Hope you, as a listener, enjoyed this episode. This was a very big self-reflection, literally by just becoming aware of the reality around me. It's humbling. Like, I feel very, very grateful for the moment and for the opportunities. It's a hard pill to swallow, but I know that as I swallow this, the man I'm becoming through this is going to be a better version of me. I know my kids will be blessed more. And I hope that you ask yourself the same question. What better man or woman can you be? Thank you so much for listening to the Creator Podcast.